Hello viewers, and welcome to the Random Seeders channel, which has been somewhat neglected of late, and I've decided to take a different direction with it. You're looking at the future of the Random Seeders channel in all of its sweaty glory. I just think there's something to be said for just throwing stuff up on YouTube, doing vlogs, which is what YouTube is all about and has been for as long as there's been YouTube. I just want to kind of use it as a video diary sometimes. That's not to say I won't occasionally do proper edited content. I quite enjoy doing that sometimes, but I also don't think there's anything wrong with just talking on camera now and then. I think it's quite therapeutic. And the reason why I am dripping with sweat is because I have just been playing football for the first time in at least a couple of months. And the last time I played football was the first time I'd played football in years, if that makes sense. So this is my second game of football in years, because I used to play football with like the local villagers up until maybe a year or so before COVID, and then COVID hit, and then there were I'd missed my opportunity to get fit before COVID, and I don't think it's any secret that I've been seriously out of shape over recent years, and I've been really wanting to get back into doing exercise. And just recently I found a group, a WhatsApp group of people my age, which is fantastic, because when I was playing football with the villagers, it was mostly like the children of villagers. Every now and then there'd be someone older than me, but mostly we're talking like young lads, And it was a little bit embarrassing, if I'm honest, being the oldest one there. But now I get to play with people who are my age, and that's great. It's great to not be the oldest anymore. And it's brilliant to get the endorphins going. That's the thing I've really missed about football, because I've tried other things, and I am doing yoga, or have been doing yoga, and I've been to the gym as well. I've started going to the gym, and that's brilliant. The gym and yoga is a good way of doing exercise in a disciplined way, and so that it's kind of measurable, your achievements. But the thing I've really missed about football is just the pure pleasure of losing yourself in a game. And when you're playing football, you don't care how much you run. I know that there are people who are really, really into running, and it's almost like a drug for them. And maybe I've not tried it enough, but I just can never enjoy just running just for the sake of running. I get tired, I get bored, but when you play football, you don't even think whether you're tired. You just run, It gets a bit harder as you get older, I'm not going to lie. There were times today when I really, really wanted to run, and my body just said no. But I also, as is evident by how sweaty I am, I did lots of running, and it's difficult to know whether we won, because they had this really weird system of counting goals. There were so many goals over the space of was it an hour or 2 hours? I'm going to say it was like an hour and a half or something. What time is it? I don't even know what time it is. There were so many goals that they had this really weird system of kind of starting the the score going again. And I just, in the end, I started off keeping score, and in the end I just couldn't be bothered. But there were times when I really felt disappointed that I couldn't have done more. But I did score at least one goal, which I was really, really pleased about, especially since I'd had a little bit of stick off one guy because I'd tried one or two shots. When I was playing football in the village, my specialty was long range kind of thunderbolts, which if you catch the ball just perfectly with your foot, there's nothing more satisfying than just watching it arrow in a straight line into the top corner. It's one of the sweetest feelings. And so I was trying to get my scoring shoes back again, and I'm not going to lie, for the first 2 or 3 attempts it did not go well. And I think it was maybe the third attempt, one of the younger guys said, "Just calm down." He said, "Just calm down." And I just turned to him and I said, "We're all just trying to score, mate, you know?" That was one little disagreement. And then another disagreement was my team, the other team had a fixed goalie, and my team was rotating goalkeepers. And normally I quite enjoy going in goal because it gives me a breather. Just gives me the opportunity to just watch the game for a while and think only about not letting the ball into the net. But truth be told, without going into my medical details too much, I do genuinely have an arm problem at the moment on my right arm. And if I move it in the wrong way, which sometimes you don't have any control over in a split second, it causes excruciating pain. So I just the first time they started looking at me, I said, "I'm sorry, I've got an arm injury." And then they pressed me on it, and I said, "Seriously, on my right arm I have muscle weakness." And then they were like, "Okay," and they moved on. And I thought, they're going to ask again, you know, because I know what guys are like. And I know what it looks like from their perspective. They look like I'm just some English bloke who doesn't want to go in goal. And inevitably, another guy kind of looked at me accusingly and said, "Are you going in goal?" And I said, "What, do you want my effing hospital records?" That's how you've got to talk. I'm sorry, that's how you've got to talk sometimes. Wait, is someone getting it? No, I got distracted by that reflection. I thought someone was next to me. That's the way you've got to talk, I'm afraid, sometimes with fellow gentlemen. When the testosterone's flowing and, you know, tempers flare. But they didn't actually mention it again after that. Although I am seriously thinking of literally bringing a document from the last time I went to a hospital about my arm and just pointing to it, saying, there's the document, if you don't believe me, you know. So that was a bit weird, but when the game was over, I made a point of shaking hands with both of the dudes who I'd had a little bit of a spat with, and they seemed fine. And they invited me for a pint, and I'm not drinking at the moment, so I had to not only did I turn them down for that reason, but also I've sort of got work to do. So I just genuinely don't have time to sit, but although I'd really, really like to sit with them and just, you know, make some friendships. I don't want to be the guy who disappears abruptly at the end. But there'll be opportunities, hopefully, for that in the future. They seem to be, I think they're anxious to hold on to players rather than just immediately shunning players who, and also I don't think they would want a guy turning up who just rolls over at every little thing that gets said to him. Sometimes you've got to stand your ground. I'm sorry. But anyway, I just wanted to register the fact that I have played football for only the second time in years, and it felt epic. It felt really, really good. I'm quite competitive, and I always like to finish. I prefer to finish on the winning side and not score than score and finish on the losing side. And I have a feeling that maybe I was on the losing side a bit more. I don't know. It's hard to keep track. Oh, and there was also a really neat little move where the ball came to me and I could see this player making a run, and I just rolled it behind me and he picked it up and scored. That was just little moments like that in a game of football give you so much pleasure. And even if no one kind of congratulates you, that was the thing I noticed. That was the difference between playing football with these guys and playing football back in the village. Very, very few people were congratulating each other. And I'm used to people saying, bravo, bravo, goalman, super, you know. And I found at one point that I was the only one saying that. And I even said at one point, I'm going to effing say bravo if no one else does. Because I think psychology is really, really important in sport. And you can't just moan at people when they make mistakes. You've got to praise people when they do brilliantly or do well for the team. And I'm not saying no one was saying bravo, but I think more people could have said bravo. So I'm dripping with sweat. It's not my most aesthetically pleasing video, granted, but it is nonetheless content. It is cathartic for me to talk about exercise. It's certainly random and therefore suited to the Random Seeders channel. And that's it.